Brazil, 2005. A group of men is about to pull off one of the most audacious bank heists in history. Each one has a unique expertise, and they are all united by a single goal, the vault of Banco Central. But this story isn't just about a brilliant plan, it's also about betrayals, kidnappings, and a bloody end. This is the true story of the Fortaleza Tunnel heist. The mastermind behind this massive heist was Antonio Yusivan Alves dos Santos, known as Alemão, the German. He wasn't just a thug, he was an organizer. From start to finish, logistics, front companies, and the distribution network were under his control. Alemão wanted a heist that left no traces, no guns, no shootouts. And the only way to achieve that was to go underground, literally. The heart of the plan was Moisés Teixeira da Silva. They called him Tatuzão, meaning Big Armadillo, because he was a master of underground tunnels. He had previously escaped from prison through a tunnel. When he heard Alemão's plan, he didn't hesitate. His task was to dig a massive 78-meter tunnel, reinforce it, and reach the vault. For months he dug, day and night, reinforcing it with wooden supports and laying electrical cables. That tunnel was nothing short of an engineering marvel. Another key figure was Marcos Rogério Machado de Moraes, the gang's engineer. He calculated the tunnel's angle, depth, and direction. A single miscalculation could have led them to a sewer instead of the bank. Marcos spent weeks making secret blueprints and taking measurements, and in the end, he succeeded in guiding the tunnel directly beneath the vault. But his story was different. Even after the others were caught, he managed to evade capture for 18 years. When he was finally arrested in 2023, the heist had almost faded from memory. Every heist needs a mole. In the Fortaleza heist, that role was played by Ducimar Neves Queiroz. He was a former bank security guard. He knew where the vaults were, how the alarm systems worked, and which areas were blind spots. This information pinpointed exactly where the tunnel needed to go. And it made the heist's most critical moment possible, entering the vault without triggering the alarms. The team rented a house near the bank. But it wasn't just any house. It was disguised as a landscaping and turf sales business. And the man who organized this front was Jorge Luis da Silva. The neighbors saw sacks being unloaded from vans every day, but no one suspected anything. They thought it was just soil from the landscaping business. In reality, those sacks contained tons of earth excavated from the tunnel. And finally, the financial arm of the operation, Luis Fernando Ribeiro. His job was to launder, hide, and distribute the stolen money. But his fate was far more tragic than the others. Shortly after the heist, he was kidnapped by rival criminal groups. His family paid a ransom of 2 million reais. But even after the ransom was paid, Luis Fernando was tortured and killed. The shadow of the heist turned into a bloody internal war. Augusto 2005, Fortaleza. On a weekend night when the bank was closed, the final stone of the tunnel was removed. The team slipped through the vault's floor. The thick concrete layer was silently cut, and inside millions of banknotes awaited them. 3.5 tons of cash. It was stuffed into sacks, hauled through the tunnel, and brought to the fake shop. Then it was loaded into vehicles and taken out of the city. On Monday morning, when the bank staff opened the vault, they found only an empty room and a gaping hole in the floor. Brazil was in an uproar. The federal police traced the tunnel back and found the fake shop. But it was too late. 160 million reais had been stolen, and only 32 million was ever recovered. The rest of the money remains missing. Over the years, most of the gang was caught. Alemão was arrested in 2008 and sentenced to 49 years in prison. Moisés was caught in 2009. Jorge Luis was apprehended shortly after. Ducimar cooperated with the police because of his role as the mole, and Marcos Rogério evaded capture until 2023, 18 years later. But the money, that's still a mystery. The Fortaleza Tunnel heist. It went down in history as one of the greatest bank heists ever. No guns were used, not a single shot was fired, but it left behind much more than stolen millions. Betrayals, losses, and unanswered questions. Where do you think the bulk of the stolen money is? I'd love to hear your thoughts.